My name is Jori from the brand development team at iBeAuthentic. I'm going to go over a little bit of the design process for a new product when we develop. So first we're going to consider the shape. How do we hold the product? What kind of actuator is needed? If a stylist is using this repeatedly throughout the day, is their hand going to become uncomfortable from using it? So we're also going to look at visual context. Is it going into a store or online? If it's in a store, we have the opportunity to use tactile elements, like a difference in the finish or the texture, so we really take advantage of that, because we're all guilty of touching just because something is an interesting material. The brand message needs to be conveyed really clearly. So what design elements can we use to make sure that that brand voice comes through clearly? What will make our product stand out? Does the packaging need to be biodegradable or luxurious? This helps that brand message come through really clearly. Product information. So what's unique about the product? What claims can we make? We have to make sure we have proof to say everything that we need to say about the product. So if it is free of harmful ingredients, we need to have that proof. If it's animal testing free or cruelty free, we have that proof. That way we're allowed to actually put it on the bottle. Canada and Europe have really strict regulations on what goes on the label. So if we're selling internationally, that makes a big difference for what goes on the label. We get a lot less space to work with, and we have to make sure to fit a lot of information into a really small area. That means we're really taking advantage of our digital assets. We can just say, go to the website for more information. So all of those things have to kind of balance with cost and investment, because you might want to make an affordable product, but if it costs a lot to make, it will cost a lot to buy. So it's kind of a balancing game to make sure all of these things work together. So a couple of things we keep in mind when we're considering cost and investment to make sure we don't design something we can't actually make. We're going to look at the higher the quantity, the more flexibility we get to customize. If we're allowed to choose a different shape or a different color or a different kind of labeling technique, we can be really different, but it requires different investments and different quantities to work with. We're also going to have to look at the componentry. The overcap, the actuator, and the sleeve all need to work together with the actual bottle, and the label needs to work with the bottle. So all of these things can affect each other, and we have to kind of balance all of those things before we get too far in the design. We work with two common applications for labeling. It's either a 4-color labeling process or it's screen printing. This is screen printed, so we were actually restricted to a 2-color screen process, and we had to avoid any kind of ink overlap to just make sure that that manufacturing process is easy. So after we consider application, context, brand message, information, and cost, our goal is really to maintain a really strong brand identity while exceeding the expectations that someone would have for a product in the category.